All right, everyone get ready because today on the deep dive, we're going way down deep into psychedelics.
Psychedelics. That's right.
We're doing something a little different today.
Yeah.
We're turning this deep dive into a full-blown quiz show.
Love it.
Imagine Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me had a baby with Radiolab.
Oh, wow.
But
That's a good one.
for the people
Yeah.
who love serotonin receptors and clinical trial design,
That's us, right?
that's us.
We're going deep.
We're diving into the nitty-gritty, like
Yeah.
confounding equations, nitrosamine impurities.
Oh, don't forget the GMP,
And yes,
good manufacturing practices.
even the clamorous good manufacturing practices.
It is, actually.
Okay, so
It really is.
get those research papers ready. You've got stacks of them on your desk.
So I've got so many.
From clinical trial data to dense manufacturing guidelines.
Oh. Yeah.
Put that PhD to the test. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
All right, hit me. Round one,
All right.
chemistry challenge. First question, picture this. You're reading the potential side effects of your new psychedelic medication.
Oh, no.
And then you see a term that sends chills down your spine.
I don't like this.
Nitrosamines.
Ooh, scared.
What's the connection between these nasty carcinogens and your psychedelic journey?
Oh, nitrosamines. These are the villains of the pharmaceutical world right now, and for
Yeah.
good reason.
Yeah.
They've been popping up unexpectedly in all kinds of medications, including psychedelics.
Is anyone not a fan?
The FDA is not a fan, no.
The FDA.
Yeah, they've set some seriously strict limits on how much of these nitrosamines can be in our meds because, well, they can increase cancer risk. And no one wants that as a side effect
No, not at all.
of a spiritual awakening.
Not at all.
Right.
So it's a real chemistry puzzle, isn't it, for these brilliant minds formulating these medications?
Yeah, it is.
How do you keep those nitrosamine levels down?
You got to be meticulous.
Okay.
Every step of the way, from the ingredients you start with to the solvents you use, even down to how you store the final product. They can form at any stage.
So we're talking a
going.
level of precision that would make a Swiss watchmaker jealous.
Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears for question number 2.
Okay.
Head straight into the chemist's lab. I want you to imagine this.
Okay.
You're working on synthesizing a brand new psychedelic compound.
Ooh, fun.
But to get that molecular structure just right, you need to swap out a bromine atom for a cyanide group.
Okay.
What's the name of that fancy chemical dance?
Okay, this takes me back to Organic Chemistry 101.
Okay.
The reaction you need for that molecular swap is called a palladium-catalyzed cyanide exchange. Think of palladium like a matchmaker molecule.
Okay.
It brings the bromine and cyanide groups together in just the right way, allowing them to swap places, and voila,
There it is.
you've got the perfect psychedelic structure.
The palladium is like the ultimate wingman,
Totally.
bringing those molecular lovebirds together.
Exactly. And your trusty sidekick for this reaction would be a palladium catalyst.
Palladium catalyst.
Yes.
Okay, so palladium plays a key role in crafting these psychedelic compounds.
Yes, it does.
But here's a bonus point for you.
Okay.
Can you name at least 2 different psychedelics where this reaction is a crucial step in their synthesis?
Let me see. This type of reaction is actually used to make a bunch of different medications, not just psychedelics.
Oh.
Citalopram,
Okay.
which is a common antidepressant,
Yeah.
and buspirone,
Okay.
which is used to treat anxiety.
Okay.
Both rely on a bit of palladium magic during their production.
So it's a busy little molecule,
It is. It gets around.
playing matchmaker for
Yeah.
both psychedelics and more traditional medications.
Right.
All right, well done.
Thank you.
Deep divers, are you keeping up? We've barely scratched the surface, and we're already neck deep in nitrosamines and molecular matchmaking.
And that's just round one.
That's just round 1.
That's the beauty of this field, isn't it?
It is.
Peeling back the layers to uncover the complexities.
I love it.
So much fun.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Round 2, we are stepping out of the lab and into the world of clinical research.
Okay.
Time to talk about the trials, the tribulations, and all those mind-boggling methodologies.
Right.
Here's our first question for all those aspiring psychedelic therapists out there.
Okay.
You are designing a groundbreaking clinical trial for psilocybin-assisted therapy for PTSD.
Exciting.
What is the one element you absolutely have to nail down if you want the FDA to take your data seriously?
You need a rock-solid therapy manual.
More than just like, have a nice deep conversation.
Way more. This manual has to cover every single detail, from preparing patients for their psychedelic journey to guiding them through the actual dosing session and then helping them integrate those powerful experiences afterward.
Okay.
And to make sure every therapist is delivering on the therapy in the same way, we need a separate manual that focuses on adherence to the manual.
Makes sense.
Right.
You want to make sure everyone in the trial is getting the same quality of treatment.
Right. It's all about minimizing variation,
Okay.
ensuring consistency. And to prove to the FDA that we're doing just that, we rely on something called inter-rater reliability.
Break that down for me.
Imagine this. You've got multiple experts observing the therapy sessions, all using the same checklist to evaluate how well the therapist is sticking to the manual. If they all agree, that's inter-rater reliability.
Okay.
And it's crucial for showing the FDA that our data is solid, that it's not just one therapist's unique style skewing the results.
So it's like a quality control check for the therapy itself.
Exactly. Rigorous methodology, because we're aiming for scientific acceptance and FDA approval, of course.
Of course. Okay, so we've got our meticulously crafted therapy manuals.
Yes.
What else do researchers need to consider when designing these psychedelic trials?
Ooh.
Question number 2 takes us deeper into the world of research methodology.
Ooh.
Why are things like placebos, control groups, and double-blind studies considered the gold standard in psychedelic research?
It all boils down to one question. Are these therapies truly effective? Are we seeing real, measurable benefits beyond the placebo effect?
Yeah.
And that's where those rigorous research methods come in. Placebos, control groups, double-blind studies.
Right.
Those are the tools that allow us to separate the real psychedelic effects from any expectations or biases.
Because let's face it, there's a lot of hype surrounding psychedelics.
There is.
People go in with high hopes,
Yeah.
expecting those positive outcomes.
Totally.
And that can definitely influence how they feel during the trial.
Absolutely. And that's why we rely on double-blind studies.
Right.
Neither the participants nor the researchers know who's getting the real psychedelic compound and who's getting the placebo.
Wow.
It eliminates bias
Yeah.
and makes sure any effects we see are really due to the psychedelic.
Okay, I'm starting to see how much careful planning goes into these clinical trials.
Oh, yeah.
And for all you research nerds out there,
That's me.
here's a bonus question.
Okay, hit me.
Have you ever heard of a split plot design?
Oh, the split plot design. It sounds like some kind of agricultural experiment.
Right.
But it's actually an incredibly powerful tool in clinical research, especially when we're dealing with the complexities of psychedelic therapy.
Okay.
Imagine this. You're trying to figure out the best combination of therapy and dosage.
Yeah.
Which type of therapy works best, and what's the sweet spot for that psychedelic dose?
Okay.
That's where the split plot design comes in.
Walk me through it.
Okay, let's say you're comparing two different types of psilocybin-assisted therapy.
Okay.
One focuses on deep introspection, while the other emphasizes interpersonal processing.
Two very different approaches
Yeah, but both using psilocybin.
using psilocybin.
And you also want to see how these therapies work at different doses of psilocybin.
Yeah.
A split plot design lets you do both at the same time.
Okay.
First, you randomly assign participants to one of those two therapy types.
Okay.
That's your whole plot factor.
Whole plot is the type of therapy.
Yes.
Got it.
Then, within each therapy group, you randomly assign participants to different doses of psilocybin. That's your split plot factor.
So it's like a trial within a trial.
Exactly. This design lets you study multiple variables at the same time, which is so useful in psychedelic research.
Wow.
We can untangle the effects of the drug from the effects of the therapy.
Talk about efficient research.
Yeah.
Our deep divers, how are those brains holding up?
I'm a little fried.
It was a whirlwind tour of round 2.
A lot to think about.
But we're about to step into the final round of our psychedelic quiz show. But first, take a deep breath, maybe grab some water, and let all that knowledge sink in.
We're gonna need it.
Because up next, we're tackling the big one,
Hit me?
manufacturing mayhem.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I love this part.
From those meticulously controlled lab benches to the pharmacy shelves, we're exploring the challenges of bringing these psychedelic therapies to the masses.
The people need it.
Stick with us. Welcome back to our psychedelic quiz show.
Round.
We've navigated the world of chemistry, explored the complexities of clinical trials,
It's a lot.
and now it's time for the final challenge.
All right, let's do it.
We're entering the world of manufacturing mayhem, where we'll tackle the hurdles of bringing these potentially life-changing therapies to the world.
To the people.
Imagine this. You've got this groundbreaking psychedelic medication ready to go.
Okay.
The research is solid.
Yes.
The clinical trials are promising.
Mm-hmm.
Now you need to scale up production.
The big time.
What's the biggest obstacle you'll face in making sure your product is safe, consistent, and meets all those stringent regulatory standards.
It's like building a house of cards. One wrong move and the whole thing crumbles.
Oh, okay.
We're dealing with substances that have huge effects on the mind and body,
Right.
even in tiny amounts.
Yeah.
So making sure the quality and the purity is the same every time, it's like the most important thing.
It's not just about making the drug, it's about proving that each batch is perfect.
Exactly. We need really sensitive and accurate methods to measure the exact amount of the active ingredient in each dose.
Okay.
And we need to be able to detect any impurities, like those nitrosamines we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Nobody wants those.
So we're talking a level of precision that would make a brain surgeon envious.
Absolutely. It requires sophisticated equipment,
Okay.
rigorously tested methods,
Mm-hmm.
and a level of quality control that's like almost an obsession.
Wow.
Every single step of the manufacturing process,
Yeah.
from the raw materials to the final product, needs to be scrutinized and documented.
It's amazing how it all comes together.
It is.
We started with basic chemical reactions, and now we're talking about, like, industrial scale production.
Right. It's all connected.
And speaking of the people,
Yes, the people.
let's shift our focus to the consumer perspective.
Okay.
Imagine you're considering exploring a psychedelic experience,
Mm-hmm.
maybe for therapeutic reasons, personal growth, spiritual exploration.
Lots of reasons.
What does GMP stand for, and why should it be on your radar when you're choosing psychedelic products?
Okay, GMP stands for Good Manufacturing Practices, and it's basically a quality assurance system for pharmaceuticals.
Gotcha.
It's a set of guidelines that manufacturers need to follow to guarantee their products are consistently produced and controlled to these really strict quality standards.
So it's like a stamp of approval
Yes.
that lets you know that the manufacturer is doing things right.
Doing things by the book, exactly.
And for consumers, this is crucial, especially when you're dealing with substances as powerful as psychedelics.
Right.
GMP compliance means that there's less risk of contamination, inconsistent dosing, and other potentially harmful issues.
Exactly. It's all about safety.
So looking for GMP certification is like checking the safety rating on a roller coaster.
I like that analogy. You want to be sure that the ride is going to be thrilling, not terrifying.
Right.
GMP certification means the manufacturer has done everything they can to make sure their product is safe and consistent.
That makes a lot of sense. So if I'm looking to explore a psychedelic experience,
Mm-hmm.
how can I actually tell if a product was manufactured with good practices?
Mm-hmm.
Are there specific certifications or labels I should look for?
Absolutely. Keep an eye out for certifications like ISO 9001 certified
Okay.
or USP verified.
Right.
These mean that the product has met certain quality benchmarks.
So it's like someone's checking up on them?
Right. It's an independent verification that the company's actually doing what they say they're doing.
So it's all about having that extra layer of trust and transparency.
Exactly. You want to know that the company making these powerful substances is taking quality and safety seriously.
For sure. After all, this is about your health and well-being.
Right.
All right. With that, our psychedelic quiz show has come to an end.
Wow.
But don't worry, our deep dive isn't over yet.
There's more.
We've got one more round to go where we'll wrap up everything we've learned and leave you with some food for thought.
Okay, let's do it.
Wow, we really have covered so much today.
Yeah, from those palladium catalysts to GMP manufacturing.
It's amazing.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. It just highlights how complex this whole field is.
Totally.
It's not just about taking a magic pill.
Nope.
There's so much more to it.
Science, research,
Yeah,
careful consideration.
absolutely. And I think that's why it's so important to approach psychedelics with respect.
Mm-hmm. And caution.
Definitely. These are powerful substances.
Yeah.
They have incredible potential.
But they need to be treated with care.
We talked about set and setting, right?
Yes, so important.
Having that right environment,
Yeah.
the mindset,
Mhm.
before you embark on that psychedelic experience.
It makes all the difference.
Whether you're in a clinical trial or exploring on your own.
Absolutely.
And don't forget about integration.
Oh, integration's key.
Yeah, taking the
Uh-huh.
time to process all those insights
Yes.
and then weaving them into your life.
That's where the magic happens.
It is. It really.
Translating those experiences into real growth, positive change.
So as we wrap up this psychedelic quiz show,
It's been fun.
it's been a blast. I'm wondering what's next.
Oh, that's a great question.
What are the big questions that researchers are still grappling with?
Well, one of the most exciting areas right now is exploring the long-term effects of psychedelic therapies.
Okay.
Can one psychedelic experience combined with therapy create lasting positive changes?
Yeah.
We're seeing some really promising results,
Yeah.
but there's still so much we don't know,
And it's fascinating to think about the potential,
isn't it?
not just for treating mental health conditions, but
Mhm.
for expanding human consciousness in general,
Yeah.
understanding ourselves better.
What if psychedelics,
Yeah.
used responsibly, intentionally,
Yeah,
could help us break down those barriers that separate us,
totally.
foster greater empathy and connection?
That would be amazing.
Right. What if they could unlock new levels of creativity and insight, leading to breakthroughs in art, science, technology?
The possibilities are endless.
The mind boggles.
So we encourage you to keep exploring these topics.
Yes.
Dig deeper into the research, ask questions,
Keep learning.
and approach this whole field with an open mind.
And curiosity.
So keep diving deep, and remember, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Until next time.